Hey guys, hope all is well. Hey, I've been talking about a dive trip to the Coromandel in my last couple of videos. Well, we've managed to do it. We spent 7 days in the Coromandel, managed to get 1 day in free diving, and then it started to rain, so we moved on to doing some land-based fishing, and then on the last day the sun came out and we got a bit of scuba in. So hey, yeah, let's have a look. This is our accommodation while staying at Matarangi. A beautiful little setup. Really enjoyed staying there. Here's the dive crew sussing out the water. The lower pin mark on the map marks the basic location that we're free diving today. Quick little systems check with the GoPro, she's ready to go. Get the remainder of my gear on, jump in the water, ready to go. First dive in the Coromandel, really looking forward to it. Awesome. The viz is looking okay. The fish life's a bit quiet, so we're going to cruise down the coast a little bit. There's a few people surf casting further on down, so if the surf casting there's got to be some fish there, so we'll make our way down slowly. Ethan spends a little bit of time just getting his aim back in, targeting some of the local leather jackets. Plenty of stingrays around. Hey, they normally sneak up on you and give you a bit of a fright, or otherwise they want to give you a cuddle, which I never enjoy. I find a couple of patches of power. Hey, good to see, but they're always is that 5mm too short for some reason, so no power for us today. Plenty of red mochi around. Typical to see them. Most dives I go on, there'll be a red mochi here, there and everywhere. Spotted some old scallop shells, so I decided I'd go down and investigate, and found some live ones, which is real cool to see. I've never seen any in the wild before. I do understand that there's a rahui on, and they're out of season, so I just had a little bit of a look. Really enjoyed it. Came across this fish while cruising along. I'm pretty sure it's a snapper, but I'm not 100%. If you look carefully here, through the haze, you can see a small school of juvenile snapper. I haven't seen this before, so it's quite cool to see. It would be nice to see a few bigger ones though. Loads of large porori around. I'm not going to bother shooting these. I don't really think that they're good eating, so I'll just leave them alone. Here's a couple of smaller ones just scooting along. Spotted a couple of goatfish, so I dived down to have a bit of a closer look. So we got a little bit unlucky with the weather for this dive trip. 5 days of rain. We made the most of it and got a lot of land-based fishing in. Caught a lot of penny snappers, so we didn't go hungry. So on each and every day of the rainy season, we make our way from Matarangi over to the Coromandel Township side of the peninsula. We pop the boat in the water and then off for a little bit of an explore around the islands. This is our first location for land-based fishing. We did a little bit of sounding and it drops off quite deep straight away, so it'll be perfect for what we want. Nice little bit of current too. We quite like these caves too, they look quite cool going into the rock face. Blue pin marks the spot. That's where we're going to be doing our land-based fishing today. Heath rigged up the anchor for land-based fishing. It's just basically a elastic rope connected to the anchor which pulls the boat away from the rocks once everybody's off, and then you can always just pull it back in with a rope when required. Here's Ripper and Baden on this sweet little spot on the ledge. Hey, they got a lot of penny snapper here. It was nice and easy. Here's one of the more glassier days. And then this is one of the more rougher days. It was still good fishing though, fishing around the mussel farm. But then for the last day of our diving trip, the sun came out. Awesome. Been waiting for that all week. Hey, now we're hoping that we'll get a little bit of a dive in and the visibility won't be too bad, but we'll see. Heath got up nice and early to capture the beautiful Matarangi beach sunrise. The sea's nice and flat and the sun's out, so we're going to make our way along the coast and find a good spot for a dive. Heath's going to be the boatman today. He's not feeling 100%, so there'll be no diving for him. We forgot to pop our life jackets on, so we stop and pop them on before we start motoring out. We cruise off right off the boat ramp. We're going to go down the coastline until we find a nice little spot for me to do a little bit of scuba, and today Ripper was going to try out a little bit of free diving gear, so that'll be quite cool too. The top pin on the map is where we're doing our scuba today. It's not too far around from where we were doing free diving the first day. The water quality had suffered from all the rain, but hey, we're here now. It's our last day, so no excuses, in the water I go. Dump the air out of my BCD and then slowly make my way down. So as expected, the water quality is very poor for the Coromandel, but nevertheless I slowly make my way down to the bottom. After a while I start making at the bottom, start seeing the weed and boulders. Once I hit the bottom, I start to cruise along, have a little bit of an explore. Very happy with what I'm seeing down here. It won't be long until I start seeing a couple of crays. It looks like good cray territory. Searching my way through the weed and boulders, I start coming across a couple of crays. I find my first cray here hiding under a boulder ledge. So I start thinking of a cunning plan on how I can possibly get my hands on it. This cray gives me no trouble at all, so out of the boulders and into the catch bag it goes. Here comes that typical resident red moki. Spot my next cray here. It looks a little bit small, so I'm just gonna leave it alone, get a little bit of footage of it and move on. I need to really start working on my GoPro angles. Sometimes it's quite disappointing when you go back through your footage and you have to cut stuff off. Yeah, so I need to do a little bit better on this. So here's another one, plenty of crays around today. So I'm gonna have a look to see how big it is and then have another crack. Out it comes nice and easy. This cray looks a little bit too small as well, so I'll place it back where it came from. Here's another cray that I managed to get out and decide, hey, he's just a little bit too small, so I'll put him back. And you wouldn't even believe your eyes, another red moki. Yep, so here's another cray hiding under a boulder once again. Make another plan, have a little bit of a tussle with it, and out she comes. So the limit for crays in this area is 3. Hey, I've got 2 good ones now, so that's enough. So I'll just enjoy the rest of my dive and have a good little look around. I came across a little baby crayfish in between some boulders. Very, very cute, so I got a little bit of footage. I use my Cento D4F free diving watch just to keep an eye on my depth, nice and easy to look on the wrist. Plus I use my dive computer just to check how much air I've got remaining, whether I need to do a decompression stop, etc. Just all my good vitals. It's an Aqualung i550C. I really like it. It's a good piece of equipment. Once my dive computer gives me the all clear, I'll start making my way up, and then I'll measure both crays before I take them out of the water. Ripper didn't have a GoPro with him, so here's just a little bit of aerial footage. A quick zip down the coast with the drone just to capture the beauty of it. Once I've checked both crays for size, etc., it's time to get out of the water. We stop off at a number of locations on the way back to the boat ramp, just doing a little bit of sounding and seeing what the terrain is like. You never know, we might want to go back there for a dive at some stage. So that's my first taste of the Coromandel. Hey, we had a little bit of rain, but we made the best of it. Got a bit of free diving in, a bit of land base, and a bit of scuba, so can't complain. Got to hang out with some real good dudes. We'll be doing it again, a bit more spontaneous next time, just when the weather's right and the visit's right, we'll make a plan and we'll be out. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and later on.